Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to review about the book, which is Ulysses Contract: How to Never Worry About the Share Market Again by Michael Kemp. Michael Kemp. So I picked up this book from the local library where I was browsing the finance section of the books, and this title was a little intriguing. So I picked up the book and thought give it a shot. So overall, in a simple terms, like I like the book, but it's pretty lengthy. So it's almost like 340 pages. But let me distill like what are the major topics he covered and what is this book about. First of all, to understand, I was trying to understand what is mean by Ulysses contract. So Ulysses is like a part, I mean, it is Greek mythology. So in Greek mythology, Ulysses is a Greek king. So when he was going with his crew on a ship, there was few songs played by nearby island. Obviously, if he direct his ship there, the island has all the rocks and everything, the enemies, so the ship gets wrecked. That's why he found a way where um, to tie himself to a mast. Mast is like a pole in on the ship deck to listen the songs, but resist himself, like not direct the ship to that side. And all the other crew members are advised to keep earplugs. So, but in a higher level, like what it means is like I wrote it down: a promise you make now that will stop you doing onto something stupid later. So you're in a very good state of mind now, and you are taking one decision, and you want to stick to that. That's what is a Ulysses contract for the later stages. So the author like cleverly used this as an analogy and divided this book into four parts parallel to the Ulysses contract. So what are the four parts? Which is one is siren songs, and second is gaining an edge. Third is the must. Must is that pole where you are tied to, and fourth is actual the contract, the Ulysses contract. So there are like siren songs. Siren songs means which are like um, in the investment world where you lose your money or you're not supposed to do these things, but these are very tempting to do. So there are like a lot of them, but some of the and most of them he explained with an example and the history and all these things. So it's interesting to read, but it just like for my liking, it's bit more dragged. Maybe I would have liked it a little more thinner, the book. Maybe would have come to the conclusion much quicker. But otherwise, what are the main siren song section I liked was one is the crowd. So where he talk about one of the funnier thing, like where in Australia at one time one of the don't recollect the names and everything, but one of the bakery and the bank are side by side. So where bakery is more busy. So at some point in time, um, there is festival or something, the bakery is full and a lot of queue has gone out. Like everyone is waiting to get into the bakery. But from outside, it looks like that line is leading into the bank. Now, immediately that everyone like got a hint, like one by one, that okay, bank, something happened to the bank. So everyone went and tried to withdraw their money. Obviously, banks so don't hold that much cash. So if all the customers go at a time and try to withdraw their money, it's a disaster for the bank. So that's what he meant, that crowd. And also he gave another example of the Brooklyn Bridge, where the bridge was very good, but someone, I mean, there is some history to the bridge, but there were like huge crowd gathering on the bridge, and someone fell down, and someone thought that the bridge is collapsing. So it was all panic, and this, it, so the the crowd mentality. That's what he tried to explain. And also, it's mainly drives towards fear of missing out. So, where your colleagues, your relatives, or your friends are doing something, and because you belong to a group, and especially in the financial world, and you might feel that you're missing something, especially now the stock market or even the gold is rising a lot. Everyone is feeling that, okay, I should have invested in the gold, or I will run and invest in the gold. So that's one example. I like that chapter a lot, the crowd. And the next one I liked was soothsayer siren. So this I can relate a lot. Like, it's mainly experts giving opinion on the day market, how it ended. So you see, it's on YouTube. I mean, the financial so-called experts will be showing the or explaining how the things have panned out for whole video. So sorry, for whole day, which is like um, so this day went with the profits. Now everyone says, okay, this is the reason it went profit. This is the reason it went this one up, this one up. This is the marketing conditions and all. The same thing, if it is down, then again the experts will come and say, okay, this is what the reason it went down. This is what the reason it went down, and also forecasting it. All this nonsense you will be keep seeing on the TVs or YouTube or anywhere in the channel and the media. So he gave an example of like the crashes. No one can foresee the crashes. So one of the example he talked about is in 1987, where the US has a huge crash. After post crash, after a few months, they formed like almost six commissions across different agencies and all, but none of them could find actual reason. So imagine, after the crash, after a few months, with all the knowledge, the commissions couldn't find the reasons what triggered the crash. How can we know that so-called TV experts can come and say like there is a dip is coming, there is a market is going up? No one has any clue on like what is going to happen. But still, the media keep delivering these news and everything. So that's what I liked one of those chapter. And another thing was the market timing. It's the same thing, very correlated to that soothsayer siren. You can never time the market. It's always in the hindsight. You can see that, okay, I could have invested back then. I could have made a lot of profit, but no one knows. No one can time the market. Even the big heads like Warren Buffett and all, they can't time the market as well. So he gave a few examples related to that. And main one more chapter I liked was sirens in pinstripe suits. It is what he meant is mainly fund managers. So um, most of the funds, mutual funds, or here in Australia, all the super annums have fund managers and all. Everyone is like thinks that they are the experts on this field. But ultimately, if they compare to the index funds or the market itself, none of them are consistently able to generate the alpha compared to the market. None of them are able to beat the market, but still we are paying very hefty fees to them. So that's what he talked about. One of the siren. Then there is siren of high returns. High returns is also one more, especially with the recent news in Australia, where some of the retirees are lured by fraudsters or scamsters, where they promise you, okay, we will invest all your super annum amount into one of the high funds where you can generate very high growth and all. And I saw the recent news article on that, where a lot of retirees have invested that amount and now everything is collapsed. So a lot of these scams, because the greediness never goes away. So someone's seduce you to for higher returns, you chase them and you go after that. So all that stuff. And then he talked about the other section, which is gaining an edge. Mm, I mean, he was trying to give an example of few very wealthy investors, like how they achieved that, like mainly Buffett and Graham and other people. So he was trying to give what they have an edge. And also he gave an example of the analogy of tennis. So imagine if you are sitting in Australia Open finals and where the top two seeds are fighting for the Australia Open win. You know a little bit of tennis, and you are sitting in audience. I mean, you went and you were watching the match, and you don't feel that okay, I can go and beat those guys on the arena because you know your skill. The same goes for the financial market as well. There are like exceptional individuals, few of them, where the amount of information they can interpret, the amount of understanding which they have is completely top. I mean, it's very, very good. So you can't keep comparing yourself with them and okay, if they are achieving, I am also able to achieve that. That's what you're trying to draw a line there. I mean, you can agree or you cannot agree, but that's what is, I mean, in a common sense, that's true. Like everyone want to become a Buffett, but we have tons of books on Buffett. But how many have an understanding of a business, understanding of whole aspects of investment to his level? So that's another gaining an edge. And later he talk about one other thing is the must. Must is the pole which is Ulysses is tied to. So the must he is divide one more section to that, like mainly giving what are the good characteristics we should be looking for or having it. So mainly he talk about be realistic and diversify like bonds or I mean don't pick the individual stocks or that ways and also compounding, patience, passive management, low fees. So invest and also one more topic I liked was investing is about farms, not about casinos. So mainly you are trying to grow a farm and mm, mm, crops than the like casino where you are gambling something. And the last section he mainly talk about is Ulysses contract, mainly what he built that contract. Mainly there are very few things. Just 1 second. I think there were like last chapter. What he spoke about was mainly Graham's. Sorry, not Graham's. I think Munger's. Yeah, Munger's simple plan. So when someone asked about Charlie Munger, who recently died, so all kind of people ask me for some foolproof system for achieving financial security or saving for their retirement. So what he spoke about is it's very simple. Spend less than you make. Always be saving something. Put it into your tax deferred account. Over time, it will begin to amount to something. This is such a no brainer. So that's what the Charlie Munger's plan was. Simple plan, and he distilled into further like 3 points he made. Munger. So one is spend less than you make. Second is always be saving something. Third is put it into a tax deferred account. So the author, like from Australia, so he meant the tax deferred account is mainly he talked about the super annum and how, and again he further talked about how the financial planning works and all the other stuff. Mainly how much you need for retirement, how much you need to put for kind of a calculations on super annum, mainly retirement accounts, and also just I read about that final 10-point summary he gave at the end of the book. Define where you are now, where you want to get to, and how much you regularly need to save and invest in order to get there. That's first point. Second, establish a system of regular automatic cash transfers that will add new savings to an established and growing investment pool. Third, unless you are a stock picking genius, invest in a low cost, broad based index funds, provided your investment horizon is long. Fourth, ignore investment tips from family and friends. Your neighbor, brother in law, or best friends has no idea what's going on. Fifth, shut down the internal voices of fear and greed. Six, ignore all economic and financial predictions. Seven, don't attempt to market time. Eight, don't be tempted by the latest investment craze. Ninth, don't trade. He's talking about the day trading and trading secondly. last point, be patient. That's the overall structure of a book. I mean, this is not like, okay, where the book gives you, okay, these are the steps you just do, go and do. These are like new investment ideas and all. This is like very old and existing philosophies. But overall, book mainly talks about is drawing the parallels from the history and what all things happen, and pack very good small stories in that, so where it is interesting to read. Yeah, if you ever get chance, you can read it. I would suggest the book, but just maybe my only drawback was like the only thing I didn't like is bit more lengthy than my liking. That's all about this video or this book. Thank you for watching.